Good morning, everyone. Alex here again for COM 1500. We are doing our last speech, the persuasive speech, and I am doing mine on the re-election of Trump in 2020. Um, I've titled my speech Trump 2020. I can't believe I just said that, but hear me out. We all know that Trump is a somewhat incendiary leader. He kind of provokes people on the left and on the right. He's kind of a pivotal leader. He is somewhat of an everyday person. He's a businessman. He's not a career politician, and for that matter, people have mixed opinions about him. I personally am just a little bit right of center, but I'm trying to check my bias at the door and communicate to you why I think that you all should perhaps vote for Donald Trump in the next election. Um, my main reason for this is the Democrats don't have the leadership that's equal to or better than the established Trump administration. They can't seem to um, agree on things within their community, and they put forth a lot of almost bad press. We've seen in the Democratic presidential um, debates some interesting things come out of that really aren't a good look for the Democratic Party, in my opinion. Some of the top ones that I thought were interesting um, and really a bad look for was when the top one was when Beto O'Rourke. He's a Democratic senator. He made this very poignant statement of he said, "Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15s and AK-47s," and I wouldn't say I'm pro-gun, but I am pro-constitutional uh, authorities, and you should be too as an American. You should take the Constitution seriously because that is what we as Americans base our freedom off of. And so it's written in the Second Amendment that we will have a well-armed society, and it is what it is. And there's no way that that could ever work. And so when you have a Democratic presidential candidate saying that they're going to come take your guns and then he has to walk it back, that's not a good look, and it's definitely not presidential caliber. There's some interesting things too that are coming out. Everyone works hard for their money. You work hard for your money, and you want to keep your money. But there are presidential candidates that are saying that they want to give out a universal basic income or UBI, such as presidential candidate Andrew Yang. He is a very brilliant individual, but he has postulated that he's going to give everyone $1,000 a month for the money that AI will displace from human workers. So AI will displace human workers, and that money that the AI should be making will be distributed to society. Sounds great in context, but I think we're a little bit early for that. And I think that's not the best look for the Democratic presidential candidacy either. And so we got to look at Trump's accomplishments too. Despite how brash of a leader and how cantankerous he might seem or really is, and despite all the impeachment hearings and all this, the witch hunt of those things that are going on right now, we have to look at what he's done for us. The Dow right now is at 27,830, so 27,000, and that's pretty great. And that's not to talk about bad about Obama's economy or anything else, but there he in Obama's administration he had a 73% increase in the Dow in his tenure. We could expect to see something similar, if not greater, in Trump's administration. And you can see that on the slide, almost 4 million American jobs have been created. More Americans are now employed than ever, or more Americans are employed now than ever. Like there's more people working now than ever in life, and that's a great fact that everyone wants to have an honest wage. Um, you can go through the list on the slide, but I'm going to hit some high notes just for time. The median household income has hit its highest level ever recorded, which is great. Everyone needs or wants more money to do things in their house. I mean, it's a fact of life. Women's unemployment rate has reached the lowest rate in 65 years. That's astonishing. That's amazing. And there's a lowest unemployment rate of African Americans ever as well. That's a great thing. And for me as a military veteran, the things that are going on in the Middle East, he is exacting sage leadership and promising leadership to keep us out of any new wars and to withdraw us from any residual wars. We've been, uh, at war in Afghanistan for over 18, almost 20. We're approaching 20 years in being in Afghanistan, which is unbelievable. And so Trump's administration chose to take troops out of Syria. That's great because we don't want any more U.S. Blood shed on their soil for their wars. And again, this is we could talk endlessly about this, but I have 5 to 7 minutes to talk about this. I just think it's a good thing that the troops are being withdrawn from Syria, and you should too. Um, and we've all seen the buildup of troops or the buildup of conflict in the Iran saga. Iran has spread its malign influence through Iraq and Afghanistan, and they arm terrorists. They mine the Strait of Hormuz, which is a geographical strait where a lot of the world's oil flows. Um, and they shot down one of our American drones, one of the Bands Ds, which is a huge multi-million dollar ISR, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance asset that we have flying in terrestrial waters, not over Iran, and they shot it down. And we were going to respond. The U.S. was going to shoot at some stuff in Iran. And at the very last minute, Trump said no because there were going to be Iranian casualties. Yeah, everyone would like to see bad guys die, right? But we don't want to get drawn into a nation state versus nation state conflict. And that would have been a prolonged conflict with many American casualties, and not to mention a lot of secondary, tertiary, and furthermore orders of effects. Who would do what? What would China do? What would Russia do? What would Israel do? What would Iraq do? All these things we have to consider. And we don't want to get dragged into another war like that. And so I think the way they're handling it is the best way possible with the economy of force. They're getting Iran to hopefully get back on the JCPOA and to stop enriching uranium and becoming a nuclear power, etc. And lastly, really quickly, but almost most importantly, the Trump administration and the DoD has killed uh, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who is the de facto leader of the Islamic State. And he's dead, and it's a good thing. And we should all remember that when we're voting for Trump in 2020, because I've convinced you now that you should vote for Trump in 2020 over the Republican sophomores and freshmen that are running for the Democratic Party. And I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you all, and what a great class.